Hey everyone, Alex here with Rowan Health and Wellness. Today we're going to talk about bacteria, aka probiotics. Big term, it's been used a lot in the last few years, but it's still an area that's not totally understood by most people who are going out and using them. So today I'm going to shine a little bit of light on what probiotics are, how they may be affecting your health, and how to take them properly if you are using them. So your microbiome. As humans, we have over 100 trillion bacteria on our body and in our body. So that's your mouth, your skin, your membranes, and your gut. So for every cell that makes up you, there are about 10 microbes, so bacteria, to each. On average, there are 100 trillion of those bacteria in your gut alone. So there's new evidence stating that the balance between the bacteria that's on your body can be and is directly linked to your health. As you can imagine, if there are that many bacteria in and on you, having the wrong type, too much of one or another, might cause some trouble in how our bodies stay in harmony. So again, balance is key. That's what we're aiming for. So what are probiotics? These are the good guys. These guys are the ones that help keep the balance in your gut functioning well, digesting well, absorbing well, keeping your immune system going well. That's what the good bacteria do. We want balance, a healthy immune system that helps to protect against disease caused by the wrong bacteria, fungus, parasites, and viruses that tend to come in with what we digest. And it's the good bacteria that keeps that all in check. I love this little comic. I thought it'd be nice in a bit of a serious topic. When germ relationships go bad. And that ultimately is kind of the picture you got going on in your gut. You want happy germ relationships. So why do we use probiotics? We use them to replace bacteria when it's been killed off by other things in our environment. So things like drugs, certain prescription medications, especially antibiotics. Makes sense. They kill bacteria. We put them into our guts. Unfortunately, it also kills some of the bacteria that's in our guts and good bacteria that keeps that balance going. Things like alcohol and other toxins that we might take in on our food, alcohol and other toxins in our environment that we will take in when we eat. Good bacteria helps to keep that balance of harmful organisms like yeast and fungus and parasites, viruses, and again, those bad bacteria that cause trouble in our guts specifically, that come out in symptoms like bloating, gas, cramping, diarrhea, constipation, urinary tract infections, and yeast infections on the skin. So if you have one or any of these, it very likely is related in part to the fact that you have the wrong bacteria growing in your gut, and that's why you're having these symptoms. It is important that keeping in mind that probiotics can be used as a part of a plan to treat any of the following. Allergic rhinitis, which means runny nose is related to allergies. Food allergies and sensitivities. Gut infections, leaky gut, low stomach acid, which can relate and cause things like GERD, which is your reflux. Bowel obstructions, gallbladder issues. So if you have a sluggish gallbladder or you've had trouble before with stones, this is one of those things that could help along with that. Skin conditions such as eczema or dermatitis, again, because our immune system comes from our gut. Having a balanced immune system will help our skin also. Irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, and Crohn's. So probiotics can be considered to be a part of a plan for any of these, plus a number of other conditions. But again, if you're going to add this into your care plan, just like a medication, you want to make sure you're taking the right one because there are different bacteria that come in these probiotics, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So there are 18 popular probiotics that tend to be out there on the market. So you can see already you've got about 9 lactobacillus, but they all have different strains. So they do different things. It's important to know which ones will affect your gut and your body and how. Some of them, for instance, if you're taking it for something like an allergic reaction or a skin condition or irritable bowel, to know that some of these bacteria will actually cause more histamine in your body, while some of them will help your gut to actually reduce how much histamine you have. So if you're taking probiotic for something like an allergy and you're taking actually one of these that ends up actually encouraging histamines, you could be worsening your symptoms, meanwhile thinking you're taking this probiotic to help. As with medications or anything we take into our body, it's important to know what it is specifically and how it is going to affect us. Another note is to realize that not all probiotics are created the same. So the FDA doesn't regulate probiotics. It classifies it as food, not medications. So they don't have the same regulations that medications do that go through with their testing. Some of the makers of these probiotics will cut corners, not go to the full extent. In some instances, you're getting a capsule full of bacteria that might not survive getting past the stomach because of how it was processed. The bacteria themselves aren't encapsulated in the pill itself. They might not actually survive the acid of the stomach to get into your gut to start having that desired effect. So you're taking pretty much a pill of dead bacteria because it's not going to make its way to where it needs to go. Some bacteria in the pills might actually die off if they're not stored properly. So they've probably been packaged, sat on a shelf for a stretch of time, brought to whatever store it is that you're buying them from. By the time you take them home, there's the possibility that some of them have died just over time. There is the possibility that some of them have died because they haven't been in the ideal storage situation the entire time from transit from place to place to place. Some of them require being in the fridge. Some are good out on the counter. It's those little important things, recognizing those and how they're going to affect your selection. Sometimes you'll look at the bottles and you'll be like, this one has 1 billion. This one has 80 billion. This one has 100 billion. Which one's right for me? And again, it's important to know why you're taking it, how long you're going to take it at that strength. And these are all things that well-versed healthcare professionals can help you with, like at the Rowan Health and Wellness Clinic. It's good to know to take them away from other medications. It can affect how they're being digested and the efficiency of both the medication you're taking or the probiotic itself. Try to take them, some you take on an empty stomach, some you take with food, so make sure you read the label well to know which one is recommended by the manufacturer. Some of them have fillers and colors, so try to stay away from anything on the label that has additional ingredients. You just don't need it, and it might affect the efficacy of the actual bacteria itself. And look for an expiry date. By the time you get it home, if there's 60 capsules and you take one a day, but it expires a month later, you're not going to be able to take all of them or get the same kind of effect out of it. So double check all of these things. Buyer beware when you go to buy your probiotics in stores. People have different reactions. So we've already talked about the histamine response. Some people will have bloating initially when they first start taking them. A lot of the times the recommendation with that is to take them a little more spaced out. Take them with food rather than on an empty stomach. If the bloating doesn't go down in about 3 to 4 days, you might want to check to see if this is the right probiotic for you. The other thing is probiotics might interact with certain medications like immunosuppressants. So if you're on anything along those lines, you should check with your healthcare professional first before starting to take them. What are prebiotics? So let's throw another term out there. So probiotics are the actual bacteria themselves. You are taking live bacteria in this capsule. Prebiotics is pretty much food for the good bacteria in your gut to thrive on. So you're feeding the good bacteria so they can grow healthy in your gut. You can support it in the form of fructo-oligosaccharides. You can get it in a supplement form or look for inulin in foods that you're eating. It can be taken with probiotics or on its own. So if you haven't had a great experience with probiotics but still want some of the benefits of having good bacteria, you can feed the bacteria you already have in your gut with hopes that they will grow and thrive. A lot of foods that are known for being good prebiotics are things like oat bran, onions, asparagus, chicory, and bananas. Yay, I love my bananas. So this week, if you are taking probiotics, please take a look at the label, see what different bacteria there are in there, see what the expiry date is, are you storing them right, are you taking them with or without food based on what's recommended, check the expiry. The other things too are to look at if you're taking them and you don't think you're having the right effect with them, ask someone. At the Rowan Health and Wellness, we're more than happy to chat with you about the effects of which probiotics you're on. And again, if you're taking probiotics to treat a certain condition, it's best to do it under the guidance of someone who has knowledge about it, because there is that possibility that taking the wrong strands could actually cause opposite effects of what you're trying to do. So not all probiotics are created equally. Not all people respond to them quite the same. So it's something that if you're not happy with how your body is responding to the probiotic you're taking already, there could possibly be some room to grow with that. So on that note, I wish you health and happiness. Until next time.